Hey there, welcome to the Unconventional Project, brought to you by Multifamily Media Network. I'm your host, Vanessa Grayson. For the past few years, I've been navigating the multifamily industry on my own terms, embracing my authentic self. It's been a wild ride filled with triumphs and challenges, successes and imposter syndrome, doubts and shortcomings. But one thing is clear, there's no single pathway to success. The mission of the Unconventional Project is to shine a light on the thoughts and experiences of other uniquely cultivated leaders who have taken an unconventional pathway to achieve their goals. We're here to celebrate the diverse and creative minds that need to be heard, to collaborate on the joys and struggles of authentic, unique leadership, and to simply bring our whole selves to a table designed for everyone. Are you ready? It's time to embrace the unconventional. Hey, y'all. We're back with another episode of the Unconventional Project. For those of you who may have forgot, I actually forgot as well there for a minute. I am your host, Vanessa Grayson. It's been a minute. It has been a minute since I've recorded an episode, since I've dropped an episode. So I want to talk a little bit about that today. Just kind of where I've been, where I'm at, and a little bit of what the future looks like as well, because I know that what I'm kind of dealing with right now, what I'm navigating right now, is something that someone will feel. I know for a fact that someone will feel the exact same way and be able to resonate. So if I'm sticking to what I feel like um, I wanted to do with the Unconventional Project, it was just to remain authentic through my journey, to remain raw and genuine through my journey, because I know that someone else is going through it, whether they want to say it or not. The blessing for me is that I have the platform, excuse me, I have the platform to be able to share some of these things. And so I want to remain true to that through this episode. And today we're just going to talk a little bit about hitting the brick wall, because we all do it. And if I'm being quite honest with you, that is what I'm going through right now. I am hitting a brick wall. And this is not necessarily a fall down 7 times, stand up 8 type situation, which eventually I will stand up from it. I promise you that. However, right now I am hitting the brick wall. I'm probably at, I don't know, 4,000 times is what it feels like in my head. Of course, I'm over exaggerating there, but the thought of getting up every day and I want to wake up, I want to wake up in a great mood. I want to wake up, ready to go. I want to wake up feeling fulfilled in my purpose, feeling like my passion is maximized, and feeling like my potential is limitless. And sometimes that is just so hard to do. Um, and the crazy thing is I can't exactly pin what's causing it. It's not necessarily work. I have an amazing personal life. So it's definitely not that. I think I'm just trying to get my 3 P's back in alignment, because sometimes those can get out of whack. But so let's just like take it back a little bit, talk about, I, you know, take it from the beginning, really, right? I started the Unconventional Project with Multifamily Media Network, and dropped a couple episodes. Got really busy in June, and June was just busy with work. It was busy with my kids. It's summertime, so we want to like have a good time. I'm definitely trying to find that work-life balance. But in the midst of that, we had NAA Apartmentalize, which was absolutely phenomenal. Such a great experience. And I know that not everyone was necessarily thrilled about the location, but I will say what Philadelphia did for me is I've been to several over the past few years, and I think Philadelphia is the one where I just had the most connection and the most engagement. Um, I don't know if I can really pinpoint why that is, but I felt so fulfilled leaving with the amount of people that I got to talk to, the conversations I was able to have. Yeah, it was just a really fulfilling time. So to dive a little bit deeper into Philadelphia, Multifamily Media Network, we held Podcast Palooza, which the turnout was absolutely incredible. First of all, the venue, Attica Rooftop, was stunning. And the time frame in which we were able to go just kind of had the sun setting. The vibes in there were incredible. So it was such a great space to host what we were doing, but to also be surrounded by all of the other podcast hosts. That was amazing to see, to be able to connect with them, congratulate them on their journey and all their successes was super cool. But I think the win for me in that moment was to look over and have a section of people that just love and support me from all over the country. Um, that was probably one of the most wholesome moments that I can think back to. My mentors, my friends, my peers, my colleagues, so many people in a section that were just there to congratulate me, there to support me on everything that I've set out to do. And yeah, it was just a good time. I had the opportunity to go live there with Cam from Rentley. Shout out to Cam. Cam, you are an incredible human being. It was so great to meet you. We had an awesome conversation about the prospect journey and AI and what the impact is on the prospect journey from an AI perspective. So that is also up on the Multifamily Media Network page. So if you have not watched that session, please go do it. Cam is absolutely awesome. That conversation was so great. And with so many changes in our industry, I think it's a really great conversation to listen to and just get some feedback from. So fast forward through the event, it was incredible. We all had a great time. We attended quite a few events, not just the conference or not just Apartmentalize itself. But toward the end of the conference on Friday morning, I believe it was, I had the opportunity to go live for the Unconventional Project in the Chadwell booth. So I want to touch on that for just a minute because I know what my potential is with the Unconventional Project. I absolutely know where I see it going for the future. Right now, it's just kind of getting myself aligned to be able to commit and move the needle forward on that. But I can confidently say that no matter how many episodes I do, that live episode that we did in Philadelphia will probably hands down always be my favorite. I say that because Ricky and I have had we've had so many conversations prior to going live in that conversation about some of the topics that we talked about. So what was really cool is just to see all of our conversations through the years pop out in about 30 minutes of time. I think it was also really amazing that the setting itself, like these were no longer phone conversations or me catching him at a local affiliate event and us talking there. These were no longer me just like having a meltdown and needing to pick up a phone and talk to someone that I know can help guide me through it. This was a live conversation on a podcast. I don't think either of us ever thought that I would have. So that moment itself was so significant. But then for me, as a person who really does my best to recognize what people's fullest potential is and to want to do my best to pull it out of them, to want to do my best to share them with the world. It was so invigorating, to be quite honest with you, to watch Ricky share a story he really never thought that he would share. And for him to share his personal experience, but then also for the reception of those around him to be just so welcoming and happy and open-minded to his own personal experience, the one that no one can tell him about, the one that led him to where he's at today, hands down will probably be one of my favorite episodes, no matter what I do with this and where I go with this. I just don't know that anything will ever top that for me. Like the amount of impact that I feel like that had on so many people. So if you have not seen that episode, I'm not going to give you any spoil alerts, but we laughed. We literally cried. We touched on as many things as possible, being a man of color in our industry and executive leadership, just kind of navigating challenges in general when it comes to climbing the corporate ladder with um, individuals who look like us. We just hit so many different things in such a short amount of time. So shameless plug, if you have not watched that episode with Ricky McRoy, you absolutely have to. It is on my platform. So please look up the Unconventional Project on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. That is one that you absolutely cannot miss. But be sure to reach out to me, share your feedback. Also connect with Ricky on LinkedIn. If you do not know this individual, it is someone that you absolutely just need to know. And I think after Apartmentalize and how many people I introduced him to at this point, people now they really understand that Ricky's a person to know. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. But so wrapping up Apartmentalize, I came back home. Work is still like ridiculously busy. I'm working through a community that needs fine detail attention. And if you're in the industry, I think that you absolutely know, like when an asset needs very detailed attention, that can be so draining. First of all, some of the details are super small, but there's so many of them, and you could be working in several different buckets at a time. So, i.e., if I'm working to clean up our financials, or if I'm working on resident retention, if I'm working on leasing velocity and increasing that, working through stabilizing the occupancy as well as meeting NOI. Like there's so many different buckets, but they're not necessarily big buckets at this point. Like we've slimmed them down to where we're so close to the finish line on so many different things outside of the operations that are consistent and kind of that revolving door that I have just been so inundated with that. And full transparency, I'm actually more I'm actually more stressed now than I have been at any point in my career, and I want to say that's potentially contributing to hitting my brick wall, but I think more than hitting my brick wall, I'm running into issues with my 3Ps. So, yeah, I'm busy with work, still trying to be a fully present and fully active and engaging mother, which for those who know me is the most important thing in the world for me. But at the same time, I am working to just kind of reevaluate my 3Ps. And I think that's kind of where I'm at. So for those of you who don't know what the 3Ps are, they are purpose, passion, and potential. And I think for me over the years, I've realized with my 3Ps, when those are fully aligned, I can be just kind of the most genuine and authentic, real, productive, um, joyful version of myself that typically I know myself to be. And quite honestly, even when one of them is just out of whack, I'm typically okay because the other two are in line. I'm in check. It's okay for you to take a step back and just kind of reevaluate where you're at. Like, reevaluate, why are you hitting the brick wall? How is the brick wall going to come down? And at what point do we just step through the debris and we keep it pushing? So, the problem is for me right now, all three of my P's are out of whack. And I say that to say that I understand sometimes from the outside looking in, it can look so perfect. I've done a lot of things in a very short period of time when it comes to my career, and I'm very proud of all of those things. But I think there's a lack of understanding of what it took for me to actually get there. Being that I am a mother 100% of the time, I don't get to necessarily turn that off or just stop being a mom for any moment. But I'm a fully dedicated industry professional, and I put a lot of time and I put a lot of commitment into what it is I do. So outside looking in, you've got these accolades and you've got these achievements, but I also am dealing with the weight of people's unspoken expectations, and that's hard for me. It's so hard for me to have someone look at me and be like, "Oh, well, it's you. You've got it." And some days I just want to be a learner. Some days I want to be able to fall short. so that I can learn something new. Some days I want to be able to simply fall short and experience what it's like to be able to just kind of climb back up. But due to people's unspoken expectations of who I am and what they believe I'm capable of, and how essentially I've proven myself to a manner to where any opportunity to fall short is viewed as regression, is it's really hard to bear that weight, if I'm being quite honest. So I find myself silently navigating my three P's and just kind of building myself back up in that realm, just redefining my purpose. I don't necessarily question what my purpose is, but I am working through just redefining that, making sure that the goals that I've set for myself still align with the overarching purpose that I feel like I have. And also understanding that it's okay for my purpose to change based on the environment that I'm in and the people that I surround myself with and the evolving that I'm doing myself. So for example, for me, well, if you ask everyone else, everyone believes that my purpose is to utilize this platform to share things that people would normally share, as it relates to our industry and like personally navigating it, professionally navigating it. And I don't necessarily disagree. But I think my purpose for me in a professional setting right now is, as bad as I want to be a part of this and make sure that I'm having an opportunity to share outside of my role. Right now, I feel like my purpose is to grow the individuals around me, the team members that have committed to allowing me to be their leader. I think I owe them something to just continue to pour into them and continue to grow them into their goals. And that is where my fulfillment will come. So it's kind of unique to have these different lenses of what people feel like, your purpose should be versus what your own purpose is. And I kind of think that's where my misalignment is coming in, because outside influences aren't necessarily wrong. And I don't think I'm necessarily wrong, but it will have you question, like, okay, well, they see something in me that I may not see in myself. And so should my purpose change? So we're treading fine waters, but my recommendation for realigning your purpose would essentially be to just evaluate your goals. I think setting your goals effectively will get you to where you feel like your purpose may lie. And maybe it won't. It's not going to be a perfect journey, and no journey is linear at that. So, yeah, I'm just working to redefine what I feel like I'm doing here and the impact that I'm supposed to be making. So moving on to my passion. This one's tricky. This one's so tricky. I love what I do. I love what I do. I love the interaction that I get to have with the people that I get to have it with. So I have 341 homes plus commercial space as well. So on a daily basis, let's say every single resident that I have wanted to come into my office with 341 homes, we're probably talking about 550 to 600 people could potentially need my attention in any given day. That's not counting my team itself. Any requests that come down from my executive leadership, my supplier partners, that's not counting anyone else. But I love what I do. I love what I do. I love the fact that I get to interact with so many different people and that I get to be a part of their journey on such an intimate scale. I manage the most vulnerable part of people's lives, and that, of course, being their home. I get to experience so much life there with them. Like, life is literally happening right up under my nose every day that I'm in my office. So everything from, birthdays and holidays, I've met family members, I've met pets. And when I say I've met family members, I'm mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts, cousin, uncles, nieces, nephews, like you name it, I have met them. I've been around to celebrate engagements. I have been around to celebrate new job opportunities. I actually just got to celebrate one with one of my residents yesterday. She came into my office and I whipped the corner so quick and I'm like, so you're moving to California? And we celebrated so hard. What an incredible achievement for her and what an incredible moment for me to get to watch her achieve it. Um, I don't even know how many resumes I've been asked to print for people that, are seeking new job opportunities. Um, I've been around for so much. I've watched new babies come home to their family, but I've also walked in on homes and experienced loss of life and helped family members navigate that. So I don't take anything for granted based on what I get to see on a daily basis. And I know that my passion for what I do is there, but where I'm working to realign my passion is understanding to what capacity I get to be involved in all of this. Do I want to continue to kind of be in the thick of it every single day, or do I want to navigate just a different space? And again, it's totally okay for your passion to feel off because you absolutely deserve to love what it is that you do. So that is what I'm juggling with passion right now. So moving on to potential. Potential is a hard one for me. And I feel like right now my potential is a little out of whack because I'm not trusting myself at the moment. And that's almost really hard for me to say. I think A, it goes back to those unspoken expectations of others, but B, I'm having a hard time trusting myself at the moment, not because I don't believe that I'm capable, but because I'm wondering like how much potential is truly left in me. Again, I've done so much in my career in such a short period of time that when I go back to my potential well, and I'm saying these things to myself like, oh, it's you against you every single day. Like you're the only person that you're competing against. The goal is to be better than the day before. A better version of yourself than you were the day before. That is the ultimate goal. But sometimes when I go back to my potential well, I feel like that thing is running dry. Like what else could I possibly do? What else could I possibly tap into and pull from myself to be better, a better version of myself than I was the day before? And I'm writing a little bit of a struggle bus with that, to be fair, because I don't know. The potential component really could be because purpose and passion feel a little bit more off right now. But yeah, in terms of navigating those, what am I doing? I am really just taking a lot of time for myself. I'm really honing in on my work-life balance just to ensure that while I navigate these and kind of iron out the details and realign them all so I can get back to being my happy and committed and dedicated and like really locked in self, because for those who know me know that once my brain is set on something, like we are full force and we are full steam ahead. I trust my process so much, but I think right now it just needs a little redefining. We've got to work out a few kinks in the system. But anyway, I'm really focusing on my work-life balance, making sure I'm a very present mother, but making sure that in the work-life balance, that in the life department, I'm also taking time for myself, which is something that I tend to neglect quite a bit. I obviously it's one thing for you to be in your routine, taking time for, the gym. Maybe you go get your hair done, maybe you like go on a small walk, but are you like really, really spending time with yourself? Are you allocating time to sit? Like for me, I'm such a notebook person, like celebrating every day. I'm such a notebook person. Like, are you actually taking time to sit down? Are you writing out your goals? Are you writing out your thoughts? Oh my goodness, there's so many. Me personally, I'm just going to speak for myself. I bottle my thoughts up, and then once they explode, they explode. And I'm working on that. I'm very self-aware that that's something that I still do. I've always done that. But really just taking time for you. It's not necessarily a fitness thing, but like, let's plan a little bit of life. Let's have a little bit of directive. Let's give ourselves something to work toward. Let's, you know, re-engage that component in our mind that is literally just like every day we're chipping away at a goal that we have for ourselves, and then get back to understanding what it's like to feel fulfilled in achieving a goal and to be able to celebrate the journey on the way. So I've really been dedicating time for myself. What that has meant is, yeah, my phone's on do not disturb quite a bit, and I'm just kind of in my own little turtle shell. I'm not necessarily saying that you have to do that, but that's really just what's working for me right now as I just kind of put all the pieces of the puzzle back together, because at the end of the day, you can't take care of not a single thing unless you're taking care of yourself. And I'm very, very understanding of that. But along the way, just make sure that your support system is supporting you to the extent that you will allow them. And, a shout out to my friends and family who just understand that sometimes I just need a minute. I just need a breather. And I always come back better than I have before. But yeah, we're just working through realigning some of our 3Ps. And I think it was just really important to get this off of my chest because I've had a lot of people reach out to me and you're not active on LinkedIn. Like, I haven't heard from you. And please just know that I'm doing my absolute best every single day. And sometimes when I go to give 100%, I realize that my capacity is 70% for the day. And I will still do everything I can to give that 70%, but I've got to prioritize the things that need my attention. I've got to limit my distractions. I have to be able to have discernment in this journey as I work through knocking down the brick wall that I'm hitting every single day. So, yeah, I'm super excited for in my head where I see the Unconventional Project going, all of the guests that I'm about to start working with in the pipeline to push out additional episodes. But I think on the way, quite honestly, this will help bridge the gap to some of my 3Ps and just kind of get everything back and realigned for me. But I'm super excited that I was even able to get this episode back out and just kind of keep the train moving for this, because I know there were so many people that were supportive in this journey when I originally kind of stepped into this role and decided to launch this project. So with that being said, my hope for you in this episode is just that you have an understanding that people go through things. It's absolutely okay to fall off the train or fall off the track just a little bit, but it's all about how you get back going. So take some time, spend a little bit of time with yourself, just realigning your purpose, your passion, and really honing in on what your potential looks like. And I have no doubt that if you are experiencing this, that you will be right back on the right path here soon. But so will I, and I'm coming back incredibly stronger than where I kind of left things off. So with that being said, if you haven't already, please subscribe on make sure that you're following the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure that you're engaging with the slew of other Multifamily Media Network hosts. There are so many incredible ones, and we've just added new ones to the collective. So I can't wait to hear some of their episodes and take a listen into what they have going on in their world as well. But be sure to visit multifamilymedianetwork.com to get, just bios of all of our other hosts, see our episodes, all of the cool things that we have in the pipeline coming as well. I am so excited to have spent just a little bit of time with you today. And if you've made it to the end of this, thank you so much. And thank you for listening. And I absolutely cannot wait to see you here again soon. Bye. You made it. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. The Unconventional Project is the table I've always dreamed of, a place where the seats never run out, where we celebrate life's experiences, big and small, and where our hunger for knowledge is never satisfied. Today, I hope you feel empowered to embark on your personal path to success, embracing every aspect of who you are, what you've been through, and the growth that lies ahead. The most successful project you'll ever work on is the unconventional one, the project that is uniquely you.